Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. And this is going to be a review of last night's edition of Monday Night Raw, which is the June 29th edition. And my oh my, Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon finally gave us a awesome, good edition of Monday Night Raw. Can you believe that? No. Only in our dreams would we expect to have a good Monday Night Raw. This show fucking sucked last night. This show was god awful. It was that bad. And you know what? I caught the last 2 hours of this show. First hour I didn't catch. I was at work. And reading the results, I didn't miss a thing. So, as I caught the last 2 hours, and you know what? This review is going to be a short Monday Night Raw review because this show last night does not deserve a long 30, 40-minute video. So I'm just going to read the segments that happened, going to give the results, and that's that. I'm not going to go fully into the segments because last night, after watching the show and reading the results from what happened in the first hour, I'm like, do I really want to review this show because of how bad it fucking was? And we're heading into Extreme Rules, the horror show. This build to Extreme Rules is fucking terrible. And you know what? Extreme Rules, the horror show, it's shaping up to be a fucking terrible show. Hell, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and WWE should be called the horror show because of the product that we are given from WWE, from Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon. And you know what? Everything that's going on in the WWE with the COVID, with them not contacting Renee Young to check up on her and see how she's doing. What the fuck is going on in this company? You know what? Let's jump right into the review. Get this review done and over with because this show was fucking terrible last night. So I'm going to read what happened in the first hour. We had the contract sign-in with both Asuka and Sasha Banks for the Royal Women's Championship. Which is going to be at Extreme Rules. And then we had Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre sign their contract for the WWE Championship, which is also going to be taking place at Extreme Rules. Samoa Joe was in the ring, conducting this whole contract signing between them. We had a brawl ensue from here. And Big Show. I want to mention the Big Show had 4 segments last night. This is 2020, and we're seeing the Big Show with 4 fucking segments. So then we had the Viking Raiders versus Andrade and Angel Garza. Apparently, Andrade and Garza end up winning. We had Garza end up covering Eric. There you go. And we also had a segment saying that with the Big Show, one of the 4 Big Show segments, saying that he's not happy, and he starts talking to Andrade and Garza. Garza and Andrade were taunting him from the stage. And then Ric Flair was out there. Yeah, that's all I want to say. That's all I want to get into about that. So, yeah, I didn't even take notes for this show. So I'm just saying the results and throwing it all out there. R-Truth and Akira Tozawa for the Jobber Ninja Turtle 24/7 Championship Apparently, Tozawa was in the ring with his ninjas. Oh no, this is the Foot Clan. Tozawa and his ninjas are the Foot Clan. So we had R-Truth ends up rolling up Tozawa. Who gives a shit? Why is this fucking title on TV still? This title needs to be fucking retired. Might as well call it the R-Truth belt. Might as well call it R-Truth 24/7 Championship. So then we had Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. They were in the ring. Rey Mysterio and Dominic were on the other screen. More of that with them. Then we went to Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy versus Humberto Carrillo and Alistair Black. Apparently, Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy ended up winning. Rollins ended up delivering the stomp to Humberto. Now is out. Another loss for Humberto Carrillo. Another pin he took. So we had Peyton, Royce, and Ruby Riott. This is where I caught the show. This is where I started watching Raw here last night. Peyton Royce versus Ruby Riott. Man, I feel so bad for Ruby Riott. Since she came back, she had loss after loss after loss. She's on a losing streak, Ruby Riott. Peyton Royce ended up winning the match. Royce ended up delivering the spinning brainbuster to Ruby Riott. There you go. Peyton Royce wins. Oh my God. And now we had a god-awful 2-on-1 handicap match. Andrade, Cien, Almas and Angel Garza versus The Big Show. This was a clearly easy win for The Big Show. All this match was Big Show chopping away at Andrade and Garza. When Big Show delivers the chops to the chest, that was basically pretty much what I saw, what we all saw. Then you had a point in the match where Garza ended up walking off because Andrade ended up tagging himself in. Angel Garza wasn't happy with that. Andrade ended up kicking the Big Show. Garza ended up yelling at him. Andrade ended up shoving Garza. And then that's when Garza ended up walking off with Zelina Vega. And then Andrade ended up turning around. Big Show ended up grabbing Andrade, delivered the big choke slam. There you go. Big Show ended up going for the cover. Big Show ends up winning. Fucking awful match. Andrade and Garza end up jobbing to the Big Show. End up jobbing to. So then after the 2-on-1 handicap match, oh joy, we had Apollo Cruz versus MVP. Oh, unbelievable. What? Why are they still having MVP compete in the ring? Please, just keep him managing Bobby Lashley. MVP does not need to compete in the ring. The guy, he's not as good as how he was back in the day. The guy is moving slow whenever he's competing in a match now. Just keep him managing Bobby Lashley. We don't need to see MVP competing in the ring. So before the match got underway, MVP was out there, of course, with Bobby Lashley. And we had MVP say about Apollo Cruz and how MVP ended up helping and how MVP helped Lashley into his limitless potential. And out came Apollo Cruz. And Apollo Cruz ended up saying that he denies disrespecting MVP. He went on about how MVP kept pushing and pushing because the only person MVP truly cares about helping is himself. MVP ended up saying that Cruz didn't want him as his manager, and that Apollo Crews will find out he really didn't want him as an enemy. And so there you go. The bell ended up ringing. MVP ended up winning because Bobby Lashley ended up distracting Apollo Crews, and that allowed MVP to drop Cruz. MVP then followed up with a fisherman suplex on Apollo Crews, and there you go. MVP ended up winning. So there you go. MVP had to get help from Bobby Lashley to win a match. Great. So MVP, post-match, MVP ended up standing tall. Bobby Lashley comes into the ring, ends up applying the full Nelson to Apollo Crews. We had Ricochet and Cedric Alexander run down. And I'm like, holy shit, Ricochet and Cedric Alexander on Monday Night Raw. When was the last time we saw them on Raw? I can't even remember. So they came down. They tried to break the full Nelson off of Apollo Crews from Bobby Lashley. Lashley ends up pushing Ricochet and Alexander off. And he was still keeping the full Nelson locked on Apollo Crews. Ricochet and Cedric end up attacking again. And the full Nelson ended up breaking off. So then we went to Ricochet and Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley got the win. And he applied the full Nelson on Ricochet. Ricochet ended up tapping. Post-match, Cedric ended up coming in to check on Ricochet. Lashley then ends up also locking in the full Nelson on Cedric Alexander. And that was basically that. Then we had the main event. McIntyre and Asuka versus Dolph Ziggler and Sasha. Match itself, it was just very meh, in my opinion. We had Bayley out on commentary during this. Of course, she was behind. Of course, her bestie, Sasha, and also Dolph Ziggler. So Sasha and Dolph end up winning. We had Sasha getting the pin on Asuka. So there you go. Sasha and Dolph end up winning the match. Post-match, Bayley end up joining Sasha and Dolph at ringside. And they end up celebrating. They're all jumping together. They're all jumping around together going, and there you go. That's how Monday Night Raw went off the air. But this show was so bad. This show was god-awful. Didn't even want to talk about this show because of how bad it was. Didn't want to go into every segment on this show, but when you're seeing MVP and the Big Show in the ring in 2020, you know something is wrong there. I can't believe Big Show got 4 segments last night. Can't believe it. And what year is it? This ain't 2007. This ain't 2006. But yeah, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Short review. Didn't want to make this a 30, 40-minute long review. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this little review. Thank you all. And be sure to give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. And until the next video, which AEW Dynamite, the review is not going to be coming up on tomorrow night. Same with SmackDown. Might as well do both Dynamite and SmackDown this weekend. But so that might be those reviews might be coming up this weekend. Maybe I'll do one on 4th of July and then the next one on Sunday. So, but that's it for the review, and I will see you all later.